Good morning, boys and girls. I'm going to read your story this morning. My name is Mr. Scott. I'm the principal of the school. I do nothing but try to make sure kids get the best possible enjoyment and excitement from school. This book right here is called Where the Wild Things Are. It is a great book. It is by Maurice Sendak, and it's really good because it goes into your imagination and makes you think that you're right here in the story. So let's get started. It's a Caldecott book winner, medal winner. It's a wonderful story. Where the Wild Things Are is a picture and storybook by Maurice Sendak. I said that once already. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. That's Max. He has a big hammer in his hand, and he shouldn't be hitting on things, but that's what he does. And another, that's Max, playing with the fork and running after the dog. Does the dog look excited? I don't think so. I think the dog's a little frightened of Max at this point. So we don't want to do that. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Does Max look happy going to bed without eating anything? That's what happens when you're a naughty boy or girl. You get sent to bed without anything. And we don't want to do that. He's still in his suit. The very night in Max's room, a forest grew. Is that possible? Do you have forest growing in your bedrooms? I bet you do at some point. And grew. The forest grew very, very thick and very, very tall. Look at all the trees in that forest. Would you like that to be in your bedroom? I'd love it to be in mine. And grew until the ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. That's a very big, wild forest. Look how big and wild that forest is. Can you think of some things that would be scary in that forest? I can, but some things are really nice. Birds, butterflies, lots and lots of flowers. That's wonderful. And the ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and the day. That's Max on his sailboat. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. Look at this picture of the wild things. How does Max look now? Does he look like he's having a fun time? Or does he look like this is a little scary? Some of you know what I mean, because like at night, it gets a little hairy in your bedrooms and you think you hear noises that are not there. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Look at the wild things. I have friends that look like this. I'm sure that you think you do too, but they aren't as wild as you think. Till Max said, "Be still," and he tamed them with magic trick. By staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened, calling him the most wild thing of all. So Max tamed the wild things. Do they look like they're afraid of Max? Max has become the king of this wild thing kingdom, hasn't he? He's doing a really good job. That's how you tame wild things in the middle of the night. Stare in their yellow, beady eyes. And made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. They're going to have a party. It looks like it's going to be fun, just like in your classroom. They partied all night. Look at the party going on. And they partied all day. Look how they swing and swing in the trees. This is a wonderful time that you can have with your friends in Mrs. Johnson's class. Although she doesn't have swings, she does have a lot of new things that you can learn, and you're going to be very, very appreciative of Mrs. Johnson's class at the end of the year, because you're going to be like Max and be king of your world, like he's king of this world with all the wild things. And all your little wild things in class will be very, very sharp and very smart. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed. without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and went to where someone loved him best of all. Then all around him, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of the wild things, and he moved back to, this is him being lonely, he moved back to, where do you think he moved back to? We'll see. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go, we'll eat you up. We love you so." Max said, "No, no, no, no." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and they rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye to the wild things. What do you think Max is going with this? Why do you think Max is leaving the wild things? And he sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and night sailing. And it looks like he's asleep at the helm, doesn't he? The helm is where the front of the boat is. Actually, it's where where you drive the boat, like the wheelhouse. And into the night of his very own room, and he found his supper waiting for him. Now, wasn't his mom really nice? After all of his adventures, she still gave him supper. This is a really nice mom. And that's what your teacher is. She tells you about all the things that you shouldn't do, but in the end, she's very nice and she shows you all kinds of kindness. And she gives you your supper. And it was still hot. And this is the end. And this is what wild things do. They always come back home to where a warm, friendly smile and supper is.